And we're back. What's going on, Dre?
It's a new day, yo. It's a brand new day.
It is a brand new day. There's one thing that's tripping me out real quick. We gotta switch this because this is not how we rock. Hey now.
You gotta warn me, man. You can't be throwing me that fast.
My bad. You got vertigo. My bad. We had to switch barbershop chairs because you first chair, brother.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You first chair. I'm the dude that people are like, oh, Andre busy. I'll wait for him.
With age comes privilege and gifts, huh?
Hey, brother, listen, I hear that, and I'm waiting on it. Speaking of age, I know we've got some celebrations coming up later on. I ain't gonna put nobody boom blood, but somebody is getting there.
It's a joyous occasion. Come on, Friday is a birthday. Ain't no shame in it.
Talk about it.
I turned 50. I turned 50 on Friday.
Hey now.
Friday, I will be 50 years old.
Hey now.
It's beautiful because I remember, being 14, 15 and thinking, will I live to see 21? Because you hear all the stats. 1 in 3 black men are in jail or dead by the time they're 21. When you hear that when you're a little boy, you think, uh-oh, you don't know what's going to happen. So every year I'm thankful and grateful and celebratory and embrace it. And the wisdom I feel with the age is doing me well.
I hear that, good brother. I hear that. Shout out to the folks in the chat already.
Hey, popping off.
J-Dub talking about y'all looking fresh. We try. The brother ain't go to the barbershop today. I ain't see myself, because I am my own barber. I ain't see myself today. I gotta pencil myself in later. But he got that Jack Honey. Okay, with a little ginger ale. I ain't mad at you, brother. Yeah, okay, I like that.
I'm nervous that Mr. Josh is on the audio because I want to sound as good as Josh sounds when he's.
Listen, he be killing the game. He got the swivel mic.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll be taking notes. How about okay?
Listen, that's my social media consultant right there. That's my social media consultant. So that's how we rocking. But this is our first live stream, man.
Ooh.
It's crazy. It's crazy that we try and keep the lights on.
Ain't no rewind.
Not at all. So I know. Dre, I know you have a potty mouth. So try to use an extensive vocabulary today. No.
What the frack are you talking
about? Not at all. Yeah, bro. So listen. It's been a little bit of a time since we got together in this space. The shop's been closed for a little bit. The Rona's out here wilding. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I missed you, yo. I missed you.
Missed you too, bro. I missed you too, man. It's been a little bit. But we're back. And I guess, for the folks who are joining us, 1, thank you. 2, let us know if you are sipping on something, what's in your cup. And 3, if there's something you want to get off your chest, put it in the chat and maybe we could talk about it. So it's the barbershop, ain't nothing off limits. So let's get into it, brother.
Dun, 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 dun. So
go ahead.
No, you go. I was going to ask you what you want to talk about. What's on your mind? What's going on?
Okay, brother. Well, I got a couple of things that's on my mind. We can get into what we're wearing. Then, like you say, let's lubricate the conversation with a little bit of libation, right? So let's go ahead and do that, brother. So for the people, what are you wearing, good brother?
I lead my civil rights tours. It's very important to me. And this is a beautiful spot right here. Stax History is Black History. Stax record, so you have the Motown sound up north.
Mm-hmm.
When you go below the Mason-Dixon lines, when you start getting into the funk. So this place is where, what's up, people? I love all this chat. This is so fun. Stax History, that's in Memphis, Tennessee. Otis Redding, Booker T and MGs, Isaac Hayes, the Staples, Sam and Dave. My favorite, Rufus Chicken Strut Thomas.
What?
My man, all them.
Rufus Chicken Strut Thomas. Okay.
Exactly. He had that great track, Do the Chicken Strut. It was fantastic. They all recorded there. And so I decided to rock them tonight because you go there and it's so much history. And Elvis recorded there too. But everyone else was up in there jamming, making it happen. And so I love this. When I saw the shirt, I was like, I need that shirt.
That's dope, brother. I remember the first time you put me onto that history because you always dropping gems, brother, and you have a story for every day of the year. So all I know is that thank you for spreading that history, brother. Because I was like, well, no. So thank you.
That's why I'm here. How about you? I see you in the hoodie life.
Oh yeah, hoodie life. You know how it goes. You know what I mean? It's hoodie season, baby. So Team Savage rocking it. Shout out to my boy Nasheed Litton from Trenton. That's Trenton. We're out the end. We're out the Trenton. So it's just Trenton. So shout out to my dude. He got his own shop with his partner, His Music, Her Hands, in Trenton, New Jersey, doing their thing. Went to high school together. That's my boy. So we in here with the hoodie. Feels good. Yeah,
it looks comfortable. Dirty jersey. I'm not mad.
Oh, talk about it. Make sure you check him out at Team Savage Apparel at Instagram. The only issue I have with Trenton. There's an issue I have with Trenton. And shout out to the folks at Trenton, but I'm gonna start some beef today. Harlem World, baby. Harlem World. I'm about to shake it up for a little. I'm about to shake it for a second. All I know is that there's a couple things. So every time I drive into Trenton, there's a bridge. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, good brother Josh, but there's a bridge that says Trenton makes and the world takes.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, if you don't get out of here with that nonsense, number one, every time I drive by, some of the lights not even on. So I'm like, did we take your electricity too? Because the bridge not even lit up. That's all I'm saying. I just want to do a little dig real quick. That's it. It's the barbershop. My bad.
That's one of my favorite signs. I love that Trenton makes the world take sign. I love that sign. Like, stop. You're hilarious.
But what is the world taking?
See now.
I'm just starting drama, man.
You are. That's so Harlem.
It's what we do. Rap beef, baby.
Completely.
Causing
trouble.
So what you sipping on, good brother?
Well, I knew this was a special occasion.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been waiting to reveal this beauty.
Oh, hey now.
You can't even keep still. Look at them.
Uh-oh. Talk about it.
All right, Mr. Basil Hayden's.
I look like liquid gold, brother.
Artfully aged. Look at that color. Look at that complexion.
Talk about that.
We are in the Brown Juice place, so this is the Brown Juice experience. Look at the wrapping, presentation. It's making me feel special. So I'm excited for this tonight.
You are special, brother.
Look at that.
That's golden.
I know, right? So yeah, Basil Hayden Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I'm gonna take you to it.
So brother Josh over here is educating us.
Oh, really?
So the Golden Gate Bridge still came from Trenton, and they converted to LED lights so they can stay on. Okay. All right. Listen. That's okay. Appreciate that, good brother.
Hey,
appreciate that.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. So thanks for coming through with that gem, good brother. He's like that dude who's over there playing the chess game in the barbershop with the newspaper. Just look. By the way, did you know the Golden Gate Bridge? I appreciate that. And I mean, it's some people in the chat want to say stuff. Harlem World equals extra. Okay.
It's true. Thank you. That's my plan. That's my plan. Thank you. I was like, I can't say it again, but somebody said it from song. Gratitude. Thank you for sharing the message.
Listen, it is what it is. Listen, it's not my fault I'm this way. Harlem made me, brother.
So what you sipping, my brother? What you got?
I had some choices, but I just went with one that I recently opened again for the second time. So the new Riff, brother.
Oh yeah.
Nice bottle.
The Riff is
nice colors. It's cool.
It's cool. Little line. I see that little design.
Yes, sir. And it's 100 proof because I always keep it 100. That's always.
Oh. Okay. I'm not mad.
Yes, sir.
I just noticed that little Bailey. Can you see that little Bailey?
Yeah, I see that.
BH. This is some bougie.
It is bougie, brother.
I had no idea. I just saw the bottle. I was like, oh, okay.
Listen, this is like one of those barbershops is a cover charge. Oh, you want to cut? $25 to get in the waiting room, brother.
Exactly.
All right, so it is what it is. Let's
get into this life.
So we got some other people sipping with us. Brother Dean out here. Welcome back, guys. We're sipping on some wild turkey forgiven out here. Hey, now, courtesy of Bro Yizzy. Hey.
It's good to see you again, Mr. Devon.
That's good stuff right there. I appreciate it.
Uh-oh.
It came with bougie wrapping paper, too?
Uh-oh. I made sure that I've done this before,
I'll stall, brother. I'll stall. You want me to do a dance? I'll do a dance, brother. Want me to tell a joke?
I put lotion on my hands before I started. That's the problem.
Yeah, man. I hear that. I hear that for sure. Listen,
this is my mother would say, "See, you're trying to show out. See what happens."
You did it to yourself. You did it to you. I know. Parents, man. Can we talk about black parents? It's just, especially black mamas. Goodness.
Black mamas are the gift.
Goodness. Like they need to have their own statue, like on the National Wall. The National Mall. They need to have their own statue. Teeth always does work, brother. I can't really do that anymore. I've been going to the dentist a lot.
I can't do that on camera.
I got some false teeth.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
I ain't trying to go. My life on camera. I'm like a 50-year-old now. That's hold on. I got it. Hold on.
Listen. There we go.
Oh my gosh. I'm all the way back here and I feel it.
Listen, it's worth it.
I'm all the way back. Oh.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Ooh. Now, brother, what notes are you smelling?
My goodness. I'm just enjoying it. I feel like there feels something very like cherry.
Okay.
It feels very earthy. It's like an earthy and fruity experience.
Okay.
Like it feels like it's going to be just sweet enough and not too sweet.
Yes, sir.
You still going to taste it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not mad.
Listen, they filling the bougie wrapping paper, man. I like it. Well, they make me start mumbling.
Got it for you, baby. Exactly. All right. I think it's time to pour.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna act like I'm pouring again.
You see, the old man. Be nice to the old man. Why you gonna do like that? Have some respect for your elders.
You about to kick me out the shop?
Them boys up in the front of the shop be talking. They talking. Don't know how to hang with us in the back.
I hear that. All right, you gotta pour it up, folks over here. Listen, for the folks in the comments, the ones who are sipping on something too, raise your glasses with us. Let's do a toast, brother. I know that this is our first live stream, so I'd like to toast to that. But if there's anything else on your heart, brother, to toast to, please do. But first, I want to toast to the folks in the chat who are sipping with us on this Sunday Funday, right? Just riding out with us for our first live stream. Hope you all are safe, well, healthy, loved, and just always operating in excellence. And then the second toast is to you, good brother, for your upcoming birthday. The big, I'm not going to say 50 because that reminds me of the police. Your big 50th birthday. The big 50th birthday, brother. So toast to the folks in the chat, toast to the space, and toast to you, good brother.
All I can say, in Arab countries, they say copy paste, which means the exact same ideas. The people in the toast, the people us going live, all that stuff, and turning 50 into you.
Yes, sir.
Whew.
Blackout.
That might be some of the best brown I've had. What's the other one I got over there called? The Hill Rock?
The Hill Rock. Yeah.
This just came in like smush Hill Rock's face.
What?
Just a little bit like, get out of here.
Is that right? Okay, brother.
This is really good.
Okay.
This is really good. And I'm not even at the shoulders yet.
Oh, you didn't hit the shoulders yet. Listen, brother, my thing is this. I'm trying to study you and figure out your palate, I've had the Basil Hayden before. I've also had their dark rye, which is a little sweet. That regular one is, a little lighter. I'm with that higher proof. But the Hill Rock I haven't had yet. So I'm trying to figure out your palate, brother. So I'm taking notes.
This is really good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that. I am glad you are enjoying that.
Okay. Yeah. Man, my palate is funny. My palate is very simple yet very complicated all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, your palate's complicated, and I would say it's experienced. An experienced palate. And you get lots of love in the chat, good brother.
I see. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Lots of love in the chat. So this is beautiful. So, it's you share the birthday with my niece, by the way. I think I told you that before. Yeah, my second eldest niece. She is also 7-11. Yes, sir.
To her.
Mm-hmm. So
Sagittarius, she must be amazing.
She is. She is amazing. She is amazing for sure. So shout out to y'all. So it's December 2020, which is allegedly the last month of 2020. Now, if we wake up and it happens to be December 32nd, we all in trouble.
Right.
That's all I got to say. But allegedly it is the last month of 2020. So my thing is, good brother, how are you feeling about this year 2020? I remember when we started talking about this first, when we first entered quarantine, etc. When we first started this channel, really, we started talking about what we learned about ourselves in 2020 and things of that nature. How are you feeling now in this last month of 2020? Where are you, brother?
That's a grand question.
I'm gonna give you some time to think about it while I read this, because I want you to gather your thoughts, good brother, because I know they're gonna be dope. So big up to the Yizzies for introducing me to craft beer, learning a lot from you, from your barbershop about brown juice as I grow older and wiser. Happy Earth Day, Big Dre. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, J Dub, for teaching me the ways, particularly of StreamYard, YouTube, etc. Sensei, and thanks for putting me on to the new brown juice to try. Hey,
do it.
Listen, I will be a brown juice ambassador. Matter of fact, if anybody knows any distilleries out there who are looking for someone to represent their products, we are available. You can email any inquiries at brownjuicebarbershop@gmail.com. Thank you.
What are you willing and able?
Yes. Thank you so much. So yes, sir. 2020 is the last month of 2020.
Yeah, and quite a year it has been. It's been a challenge. It's been hard. I'm very fortunate that my work life is extremely busy, So I take stock in that, and shout out to anyone that is not as lucky, because a lot of people don't have that possibility and opportunity. And we're at a crazy moment right now. And a lot of folks are going to drop out of their benefits any minute now, which is frightening and horrifying. So I just feel the need to acknowledge people and understand and send love and support in any ways that I can, and encouragement. That said, I've been the busiest I've been in a long time. And I think it's because people are really starting to step into this space like, oh, all that stuff about systemic racism, inequity, and justice, it might be true. Cops are killing people, like really killing people. It's like, yeah. That's what I've been saying. So it's exciting to see the changes. So, I mean, it's been a bloody year. It's been a bloody, horrible, horrific year. And I think we had to go through that to get to a new spot. Now, I hope that we actually do move forward and make improvements, and I'm seeing little pieces of it that I think will spin out. This is a kind of random one, but I'm a filmmaker as well as an educator, so I'm really concerned about what people are making. And I study content. If I'm not reading, I'm watching something. And there's a series called Big Mouth. That's an animated series on Netflix. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's about a bunch of little kids who are going through puberty and adolescence, and it's animated. And it's like Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, Maya Rudolph, Jordan Peele, all the voices. This past week they had Lena. The way, it's incredible. And the one storyline is just one little black girl. Well, she's biracial. Her mother's white and Jewish. Her dad is black. And their parents have raised her to not see color. And this episode, there's a new episode of the new season where she's like she's wearing overalls and has her hair pulled back. Oh my God, to this great to this thing. Where her mother, they use Tom of Maine's, like a one, the Tom of Maine stuff. You went to private school, you know what Tom of Maine. And they've been using it for her hair, for her teeth, for lotion, for everything as a joke. And so she goes to her cousin's house, and Lena's playing her cousin, Lena, and they walk in, and like I was like, y'all got some black people right into it. They got it so down pat. Like the story of that biracial kid going to visit their black family in Atlanta. You know, and she see her transition. She gets braids. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Like I was watching it today and yelling at every minute because there are 2 episodes. But they finally. I'm saying that to say, when we grew up, you know, yes, we had the Cosby Show, A Different World, but it was an exceptional piece. It wasn't like sewing into a plot line. And it wasn't as deep and as honest and as real and current as what we need and what we get. So my thought was, I mean, this show is not for children. My thought is people are watching that, and the more normalized these conversations, these experiences of people of color, that's authentic and real, and not 10 writers in a room and one black person who can kind of speak their mind versus people saying, okay, let's actually give this person a real opportunity to tell their story. So I say that as one small example, and I see it being repeated in numerous places. Let's hope this new government will, the president-elect and the vice president, they've promised us that the government will look like America. So let's see that happen. I mean, it's all female communications department. I was like, I'm with it, you know? And so 220 was horrific and terrible. I think we got close to the bottom, and there's nowhere to go but up. You know, Homeboy is leaving the job, even though he say he's not going to, holding rallies, raising money. Yo, Homeboy raised $200 million this month.
I know.
That's just jacked up. Yeah, I control my language. Thank you. Jacked up. So I am hopeful for 2021, and I'm grateful for the pain of 2020. It's hard to say I'm grateful for the loss. There's a lot of loss, so much loss, and we're going to see more loss. And we're in a horrific moment right now where the numbers are climbing up. But the thing is, it's possible. Look at Australia. Look at Taiwan. Dear everybody listening, like slow it down and just stay home. If you must go out, put your mask on, run in the market and run out. Don't go to parties. Don't socialize. Just take a break for a minute, for a few minutes. You know, I hear that Kamala's boss. I heard that Kamala's boss said that he's going to do a 100-day mask requirement in America. Let's do it. Let's do it. So that's that's a big old question. I could go on for a long time, but I'm going to stop right there and shoot that back at you because I want to hear what you think.
I ain't got nothing to say, brother.
Look at Harlem.
I agree with everything you said. What I would say is this: in this 2020, I think we had to go through all this stuff in order for us to get to what we hope to get to, and we can't just hope to get there. We have to make it happen. And we have all the tools, we have all the resources, we have all the know-how. We've already started to put together infrastructure. We've already started to put together the human power, if you will, in terms of the different organizations and, you know, different groups of people who have a thirst and hunger for change. Not the empty hope and change, dare I say, that we heard from Brother Barack in some spaces. You know, it's a barbershop. But I'm talking about actually a little bit more, going deeper and further and challenging the establishment, realizing that, yes, you might be a part of the establishment, but that shouldn't absolve you from pushing the boundaries even more so. And that's the piece that I'm talking about. Like, you can't aspire to be great and not be afraid of getting close to greatness or breaking down barriers to get there. And I think what we've seen before, it's like, well, I had to work within but that's how the system remains intact. Because, like, for example, at the schools we work at, but it's a predominantly white institution. But there's so much stuff. Okay, so when is that no longer going to be an excuse? Because we know what it is. So how do we make sure that we push past all of that? And that takes sacrifice. So, for example, if we call, like, us as people of color, as Black people in particular, if we call for white folks to be allies, not even allies, but accomplices, not even accomplices, but co-conspirators, if we're calling for them to do that, what are we doing to show up? So when I talk about us being in spaces of power and privilege, we can't get, I guess, so enamored with or enamored by the power and privilege that we walk into certain spaces and we're happy enough just to be there. Like, I want to be invited to that fancy party, and if stuff pop off, I'm breaking every single piece of glass I see. Champagne bottles will get knocked down. Brown juice, I might have to pour that out. Okay, all I'm saying is,
okay, Harlem.
All I'm saying is, in this space that we enter 2021, folks are talking about New Year's resolutions. We don't need no New Year's resolutions. We need folks that actually have the resolve to get stuff done. So, who are we going to hold accountable? How are we going to hold them accountable? It reminds me of the whole situation with Lyndon Baines Johnson and MLK. He said, make me do it. Lyndon Baines Johnson said, make me do it, MLK. And MLK, he about that life. Things happen. When are we going to actually show up and start to get stuff done? I see the young people have been pushing.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when are the adults going to follow their lead? There's ways that we can lead, but from behind. It's almost like, that baby who's on their training wheels and they just got their training wheels off for the first time and you just pushing them, guiding them forward. And then you just let them go and then you just cheer from behind. They got it. If they fall, they fall. They get up. We talk about it, be there for them to help mend their ailment. But when are we going to push a little bit further? So in this 2020, I think we needed these things to happen because I think all the stuff that's been happening has been like Band-Aid over a wound, Band-Aid over a wound, Band-Aid over the wound. And folks were cool with that because they're like, oh, we got first aid kit. We good. We've seen this before. We got a first aid kit. But now the Band-Aid has been ripped off. And not only that, they on some Killmonger stuff and they burned all the purple shaped hearts. I mean, the heart shaped herbs. They burned all of them. They burned the Band-Aids. All the Band-Aids got burnt. So the wound is exposed. What are we going to do to heal it? And it's not good enough just to say, oh, let it be. It'll heal on itself by itself. It's not going to happen. Folks been throwing salt in the wound since we've been here. So we have a lot of open wounds we need to tend to. And I think we've learned in 2020 that people are starting to admit that folks have wounds and scars and how they got there, So those are some of the things I would say that I've learned in 2020 and how I'm feeling in 2020. And, I'm about to be even more. I'm fired up. I'll tell you why I'm fired up, brother. I'll tell you why I'm fired up. You want to know why I'm fired up? I'm tell you why I'm fired up. I'm glad you're right.
Talk to me.
So this whole week I attended the People of Color Conference virtually. And honestly, it was a great space compared to what I thought it could be, virtually this year. I was like, I'll be all right. It was phenomenal. It was great. People in particular that I got a chance to hear speak, Dr. Eddie S. Claude, as well as Dr. Bettina Love.
Oh, Bettina.
Oh, my, what?
Bettina's my people.
What?
Bettina don't play.
What?
Love Bettina.
So that's what I'm talking about. We need a bunch of people to be about that Bettina Love life and really get it popping. She's an abolitionist in education. She's not talking about this, no, she about that work. And then also on Saturday from the Cleveland Public Library, I had a chance to listen to your man, Brian Stevenson, right? So I had a chance to listen to him, and he's talking about this is a new era of truth and justice. We need to enter this era of truth and justice. And I'm with that 100%. How do we get there? We have to keep pushing. And again, like I said, I've been telling folks, keep that same energy. A lot of folks looking real lethargic. Like, do we always have to get to a space where it's like, Rona comes back? So now white folks feel like, they're pressed again. Folks who are not marginalized. Like, do we need something to keep coming back to tell us that we're supposed to be doing the right thing? Like, do we need that? When are we going to just get in our psyche and say, maybe we should be better and maybe we should do this? So, those are the things. Then additionally, because we've now learned in a lot of different schools and a lot of different spaces, mine included, that we will remain remote or virtual for the remainder of the school year going up to our break. So Black Sabbatical's back, baby. It's back. It's part 2. I'm literally in my bag. I got a bag of books, brother. Bag of books. I'm just next bag of books. So I'm in this space where 2020 was needed. There's a lot of heartache, heartbreak, pain, suffering, etc. that has happened and continues to happen. But I think, again, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And on top of that, in order for you to get to something, you have to go through something. And I think we need to come out on the other side. But this has been a reckoning. 2020 has been a reckoning. And if you enter 2021 without having been changed, you don't have a heart. You probably don't even have a pulse. Like, if you have not changed, and changed in the sense that you've looked at yourself, looked at your life, looked at people around you, seen the situation, and really try to place yourself in everything. What's the positionality that you're in? Like, what power and privilege do you have? Where can you help? Where have you been greedy? Where have you been negligent? Like, where have you hurt people, harmed people, intentionally or intentionally?
Right.
If you can't do that, then I'm not going to be disrespectful, but bro, what we need you in 2021 for? Like, what we change. So I'm talking about that real change that comes through struggle, that comes to admitting that you were wrong, that comes to believing that you're wrong, confessing that you're wrong, and understanding that you're wrong. So how do you get right? And that's my long response, brother.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You got on the soapbox.
Listen, I got some more. If you
yeah, right. Thank you. One day of not shopping is not enough. So spot on. I think about, but I didn't see Bettina's speech yet. I'm going to check all that stuff out. I did not take part in PLCC for the first time in about 11 years. I was busy with stuff, and I was ready to miss it, and I did miss it. And I was following, hitting the pieces and stuff. And we should talk a little more about that for folks who may not know. PLCC is a division of NAIS, the National Association of Independent Schools, and this is the People of Color Conference.
Yes, sir.
Conference that grew out of some people of color working at private schools some 30 years ago in the basement, crying, snot bubble tears, talking about their experience and having a hard time, and they saw something. I think they said it was between 50 and 69 people in that first basement, and now the conference pulls in 5,000 people. And they have SDLC, the Student Diversity Leadership Conference, for the young kids. Kids come back fired up and ready to go, which is so amazing. And it's wonderful people leading that. So I'm very glad you went to that. I can't wait to hear more stories. I've been hearing all kinds of phenomenal pieces about it. But one piece about Bettina talks about that I've seen her speak. It's been times we were both speaking at a conference in Colorado, and I went first, and then she went second, and I was like, thank God. Because she got up there, and I was like, yeah. Like, whoa, she really is, she really is what I'm looking for. She's diversity church.
Yes.
She don't play, and she just energy goes. So she said something that stayed with me for the longest time. And she was challenging this notion of saying that kids of color need to have grit, which I think is such a powerful statement. I get the grit argument. The grit makes sense, blah, blah, blah. But she's like, that's the wrong conversation when it comes to boys and girls of color in America. You're asking kids to have grit when they're trying to stay alive, and this grit is maybe a more privileged conversation for other people. And also it's a bit dismissive of the student's experience. Like, what I like about Bettina, and it connects with what you're talking about, is a high level of thought and conversation. That's what we need, a high level of action and strategic change. It's not enough to go to the conference. You got to come home and figure out what you're going to do in your community and make it work, and you echo some of the words of my favorite Kimberly Crenshaw, who, when she said, I don't want allies, I want accomplices. I want people that will knock it out of the car when it gets scary and tough. Stay with me on this journey, and let's make this work and make it happen. So thank you for all that energy you bring. I'm also, once again, copy, paste.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm in agreement that we have tremendous and beautiful and intense work ahead of us. And I'm with it. I'm still with it.
And just to add on, just to amplify your point, brother. So I did a presentation. Norman and I did a presentation. It was about Black Boy Joy. But it was really about how do we create these spaces in predominantly white institutions. Not only create them, but sustain them. And realizing that, guess what? You got to go through some stuff in order to make that happen, because some folks are not checking for it like that. And what Norman was saying, he was talking about that whole notion of grit. A lot of folks might not know about the whole notion of grit. Angela Duckworth, etc. Talk about that whole notion of grit. And Norman was like, when we talk about grit and growth mindset in certain spaces, particularly when it comes to Black and brown folks, particularly Black people in these spaces, he was like, I find that insulting. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I agree. Because when you think about it, it's like all this stuff that folks are going through right now, they're probably learning resiliency. We've already been taught that.
Whoa.
There are some folks who have to recalibrate their life and lifestyle. They don't know now for the first time, they have to think about what they wear to go outside. Now, for the first time, they have to social distance in line. They can't stand too close to somebody. I've been social distancing since social distancing. Like before that was popular, I've been social distancing behind someone in the ATM line, making sure I'm not standing too close to somebody, making sure I'm not too close to someone in the elevator, all these things, right? So you talk about that piece, but the thing that, one of the gems, and there's many gems that Dr. Love drops every time I hear her speak. She was like, these folks over here talking about, all these Black and brown folks on financial aid at these white institutions, etc. Forget that. No. You know what? All you folks who are not of color, all you folks who are not Black, brown, indigenous people of color, you're on cultural aid. Boy, when I tell you I had a shout, I'm like, yes. As the kids would say, that part.
Right.
That part. I'm like, yo, because I've been trying to find language for that for the longest time, because I've talked about how my experience at these predominantly white institutions, Josh could talk about it at Petty, talking about Cornell, etc. Amanda, Dean, Ashley, all y'all could talk about that, right? Being in these spaces where I feel like I'm giving more to the culture of the school and institution than I'm receiving. And it's like, you looking at me as a handout or a charity case? Nah, y'all the ones who are on aid. Because if this institution was a pot of gumbo, it's bland as hell without me. Because it's too much salt, not enough pepper. It's just too much. So when you talk about these things, I'm glad folks could make that. So the thing that happened, that's golden. What's really golden about POCC and why it's so powerful, and I'm gonna put it on the streets. POCC is great because not only is it a place for us to get together and be recharged and fired up, but because a lot of folks like numbers, they need data, they need statistics. We go there and we come back literally armed with resources, statistics, data. You cannot tell me no. And if you do, I know where you stand, and I'm out. Because I don't need to be here. There's plenty of other schools who want me. There's plenty of other institutions who want me, who will make a space for me because they see the value in that. So all I know is that was woo. And Dr. Eddie S. Claude, he was saying, listen, diversity is not something for these institutions to give out. It's not yours to give. It's not charity. So don't make it seem like you're doing someone a favor. If anything, we're doing you a favor for being here, putting up with this space that's oppressive every day. But I'll leave it there, good brother. I want to know what's on your mind.
Wow. I'm just taking it in. It's kind of incredible. It's great. Yeah, I think that right. We will, Lisa. Well, we that notion and idea of what we bring to the table and that cultural aid. That's good. It's just powerful to be around these people, and I think that notion that we talk about in terms of the stats of bringing things back is really powerful. Because you're on fire. You are on fire right now, and it's fantastic to witness and take note of. I'm. There are things I'm not ready to reveal, but 2021 is about to be a life-changing experience, and really getting under certain experiences and really pushing for incredible dynamic change that's bigger than we typically see. So I'm with it and I'm ready. And I just all of this, so much of what we've been talking about for years, the world is like, oh my God, can I talk to you, Andre? I'm like, sure, what's up? 1 + 1 actually is 2. Like you told me in 9th grade. Maybe you told me in 9th grade. Yo, Dre, it's true. I'm looking around my world, my experience, my house inside, and everything you told me is pretty much true. Mm-hmm. I can't help but think about with the grit conversation on Jay-Z and homeboy who ran for the president when they did that beautiful album, which is pretty darn good.
Oh, Kanye?
Yes. Kanye what?
Kanye East?
The notion and idea that one line, I was talking to a girl and I asked her, what do you want to be what do you want to be when you're 25? And she said alive. I was like, that's so spot on. And the way they said it was like, what kind of question is that? I want to be alive. Like that's the power of our experience and our story and understanding and the push forward. And I mean, the grit, the resilience, the fortitude we have to have is fantastic. I think since we are live and we got to give titles in session, I think you said it when you said no resolutions, only resolve.
Ooh,
that's real. That's real. We have to stick to our guns and do this darn work and stop talking about it, because the future is now and everything is right here. And we can stay stuck in our ways and feel challenged and think, oh, it's too hard. No, step up, do what you got to do, push and fight for the change and justice, and either get out of the way or get in line. Mm-hmm. It's one of the two. So it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me. Can I throw a question out?
Please do.
So we talking like it's the last day of the year. It was the last month, and I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up and by the way, this year we have December 32nd. Like I'd be like, okay, it's 2020. Yeah. What are you tapped on it, but what are you we talked about 2020. Mm-hmm. And you've touched on this, but I want to hear something different. What are you hopeful for in 2021? Personal perspective. What are you hopeful for in 2021?
That's a good question. So we had a conversation during POCC, and it was we had affinity group space. Bottoms up. We had affinity group space, right? And one of the questions was, what does justice look like? And I was like, if we have a conversation about what justice looks like in the grand scheme of things, right? That might be something that's different. Like that's multifaceted. It's multifaceted. And honestly, get out the way. Yep, I agree with that. And that's pretty much where I was going with it. When I had a conversation with folks in the affinity space, and it was like, what does choosing justice look like to you? I'm like, okay, let's bring it back to the here and now. A lot of times, particularly in these intellectual spaces, particularly in these spaces where folks want to like alienate themselves from being a part of the problem in any way, shape, or form, they zoom all the way out. So then we start to point fingers at what's happening externally as opposed to really looking at what's happening internally. Like, yes, we know America's racist. We know it's sexist. We know it's homophobic. We know it's Islamophobic. We know it's all these things. We know that. But what about the walls that we sit in every day? So when we're talking about the spaces that we frequent, and we're talking about the things that we're in close proximity to borrow Brian Stevenson's words, right? When we're really talking about that. What is it that we're doing? How are we seeking justice in the spaces that we're in? And for me, my hope for 2021 is that we get paid our worth, period. Now, that's not the reparations conversation, because that's a longer conversation. And quite frankly, I'm not an expert. I'm going to save that for the experts, because they know about it. They've been about it. They've been doing it forever. I'm saying we need to be paid our worth. I think the philosopher Rihanna said it best when she said, pay me what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot. He better have my money. All I'm saying is we need to be paid our worth, brother, because here's the thing. I'm tired of turning on the TV, watching presidential debates that are just oozing white privilege and white mediocrity. And then you tell me I can't be a president? Stop it. So honestly, if they can be president, why not Kanye? I'm not vouching for him. I'm not.
I wasn't ready for that.
I'm not.
I wasn't ready for that line.
Oh, see, brother, this is a thought experiment. It's a thought experiment. I'm not signing off for anything. All I'm saying is we have to be very careful with the things that we allow, because if we set certain precedents, then guess what? Certain presidents will be elected. It's church time, brother. We on the live.
You sitting here quoting the philosopher Rihanna. Umbrella, Ella. Wow.
But that's how I'm feeling though, because when we were talking about looting before, back earlier in the summer, I said that is self-appropriated reparations. Give me what you owe me. My thing is, I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not. I'm asking you to be honest, look in the mirror, understand what's happening, understand that you benefit from a system of privilege. We all benefit from some type of privilege, but just understand that some people have more privilege than others. It's like if we're playing Uno and I deal you one card and someone else has 15, and that's how we start the game. Some folks have privilege, some folks don't, but you got one card. You already at Uno, bro. So when we talk about these things, yes, we're playing the same game, right? Shout out to Kimberly Jones, talk about the Monopoly, right? Really giving that impassioned, like just dissection of how these things work. But we can't sit here in front like, yo, I'm dope. Or as the youth might say, dear Mr. Toilet, you know what I'm saying. All I'm saying, brother, is we need to let people know the greatness that we are, the things that we bring to an organization, diversity, etc. And I'm saying all these things is that it's deeper than what people let on. And at the same time, this is why it's so crazy. And at the same time, it's easy as I don't know what. It's so deep and complex, but at the same time, it's easy. The only thing that gets in the way is probably ego, privilege, greed. Yes, that I. So my hope is that we can move to a space where we're being honest with ourselves and each other, but most importantly ourselves, and seeing each other as equals. I gave a presentation to a church, and I'll wrap up here. I gave a presentation to a church, and I used it somewhere else too, but I was just talking about how all the major religions, first of all the major religions, they have some type of, we talk about brown juice, they have some type of something, so pour it up, brother. But all the major religions had a iteration of the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would have others to do unto you. If only we could live by that. So my hope is that in 2021, we see each other as human beings. Let's start there first, because a lot of folks, before we even get to equality, people are like, see each other as equal. Some folks don't even think that we are human. So let's see that first. And then think about equality, but realize in order to get to equality, we have to use equity, because sometimes an unequal distribution of resources need to be
redistributed, for sure.
Yes, in order to get to equality. So my hope is that we stop BSing, and being real is what's required in 21 in order for us to all move forward and for us to save ourselves from ourselves. What about you, good brother?
First, round of applause.
Well, thank you.
Round of applause.
Well, thank you.
Round of applause. Yep. No representation without adequate compensation. You got to have a job.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's
ain't nothing going on but the rain.
No, it's powerful. I think yes to all that, and I'll add in this notion. I'm worried about the babies. I'm worried about the young kids who are suffering and who are seeing lots of terrible mistreatment and are witnessing institutions that have information on paper, but the practical application of that does not follow through 100%. So what can we do to take care of them and make sure that they know they are supported? A kid wrote something recently that I was like, ooh, she said in an article, she said, I've been in sessions and people are saying things to me as I'm talking about my struggles in the world. I see you. I see you. And she's like, that's not enough. That's not enough. You see me. It's too late. Why'd you let me get here? And I was like, oh, snap. And I had to think about, like, have I said I see you? Did I think that was really it? Did I think that was the work? And I was like, well, I have to stop and think about how I can really be active at a higher level and taking care of the next generation. Because I've been saying it again and again. Like, I didn't take what my parents would take. The millennials don't take what I take. These kids today don't take anything. And I think that they're very wise and informed, but they also are young kids who still need to be educated and learn things. Sophomore translates into wise fool, and that's right where they are. And we need to take care of them and give them the support and structures they need, because they ready. They're looking around and being like, this ain't right. All this is incorrect and wrong. And they're not silent about it. And they're asking for help. And I don't want them to think that, because I think sometimes we get like, well, keep at it. And in time, you'll see a difference and things will change. And I'm working behind the scenes. I think we need some more proactive work right in their faces and their hearts and their minds, like right there with them, standing on the front lines with them, holding them up this way and this way, and making sure that they are protected from existence. And that's a mixture, because they need to have their raw, authentic experiences. They need to go through that. How do we build fortitude within them? Not resilience, fortitude. There's a little difference there. Resilience has to be there to happen, but fortitude is the strength, so that when I'm not standing next to you, you're ready. You're ready and can like face it all. So I find myself very concerned about that community and trying to just support them. And I'm exploring and thinking about it. I got some ideas, got some potential plans, but we need a radical approach to that, to taking care of the young kids right now, because I don't think that we're doing a good enough job.
Listen, I thank you for sharing that, because, again, like I said, I take my wisdom from the elders, and I consider you, and this is not a disrespectful term to folks who are listening, I consider you to be one of my elders. I consider you to be a person who gives wisdom, a person who I could just sit with for 30 minutes to hours, whatever, and always take something away that's new. Always get a deeper understanding about life, etc. Brother Norman's the same way. We did the presentation, right? Speaking of the things you just spoke about, right? I want to just tag in some of the things that he said. So a couple of things he said. He's like, one, speaking about the babies, right? He said, listen, the Maasai people in Kenya, they had a saying was, they would always go off to war. They had warriors, etc., blah, blah. And whenever they would enter the town, they would say, and what about the children? And how are the children? And the answer to that question would always be telling them, how are the children? What about the children? So I think we have to start there, particularly as educators. I mean, if you're in education not to serve the students, what you doing?
Right.
We know what you're doing, but what you doing? Right. That's a rhetorical question. Yeah. So it's like, what you doing, right? And then the other piece, the other African proverb that he gave, he was like, be a mountain or lean on one. I'm like, brother, you can't be dropping knowledge like that when we're in the same presentation, brother. I gotta look professional. And I'm over here like, oh, wow.
He's
brother.
He is so wise. When his understanding is just so fantastic. But
my goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness. So like when I hear you talk about it, because I think about it, and I just think about growing up. Who are my role models? Or thinking about what I saw on TV, and I'm thinking about now. And I can't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about, I think Amanda and I were talking about, the impact of social media. And I think we were just watching, like, that's what we were doing. We were watching garbage TV, so we were watching a little garbage TV, chilling, watching. Listen, we in there, so we was watching some stuff. We were just talking about relationships these days, right? And we're like, imagine if these relationships from back in the day, right? As messy, complicated, and crazy they can be, if social media was involved, where screenshots and receipts were the norm. Fireworks. So I'm thinking about the kids and the kiddies now, You talk about cyberbullying. You talk about people screenshotting. You talk about people doing like bullying through text and all these other things, or stuff that they're exposed to on the internet, all the things that they can capture, etc. It's deep. So how do we, like you said, protect the children, take care of the children, teach them fortitude without crippling nor coddling them? Because that's the problem. A lot of times, folks. So I used to work in college counseling. And, you know, people talked about the helicopter parent, the person who's always hovering over the parent, right? I mean, over their children. They talked about the bulldozer parent, the person who knocks down all the barriers to get their child wherever. But what they also talked about was the curling parent. Folks not really, you know, they're not really down with the curling. They don't understand what the curl is. All I'm saying, they out in front trying to sweep everything out of the way so their child can easily glide there, right? We got a lot of parents out there. It's like, and for good reason, because a lot of folks are like, I've been through that stuff. I don't want my children to go through that. So let me clean this up so they can have a smooth shot. And I think in some ways we do our students, our children, a disservice.
Yeah, I'm with that.
So how can we find that balance? And I don't know what the formula is. Shoot, I don't even got kids yet, right? So when we talk about this, you know, I'm talking from this other space, like, shut up, boy. Like, I'm talking from this space, but it's like, okay, how do we find that balance of making sure that we're giving them that fortitude, making sure that we're allowing them to fail without just being that person who's going to, like, you know, coddle them, cripple them?
Yeah.
How do we find that?
Yeah. Man, I want every show to be after a week at PLCC.
Listen, it's Black Sabbatical Part 2, so you know it might be like that. I think it's alive too, brother, because the you know, as an introvert, you know, the energy, we got stuff popping off over here in the side, you know.
Yeah. I think that what you're talking about in terms of children and that experience, I heard Dave Chappelle talking about that. This whole thing. He said, you know, when I was in high school, the Apollo 13 happened, and we knew about it because the teacher rolled out the TV in front of the class. And now these kids, I still to this day make an effort not to look at all the fights and the police attacks. And I this morning turned it on, and my first thing pop up on the Instagram was this officer with his knee on this woman's neck and on her back. And I was like, I know it's real. I'm not ignoring it, but I don't want to see it constantly. I am out here fighting against it and taking care of. So I think about what these children, and I don't think no one can become, I don't imagine people can become desensitized to all of that because it's still human beings. And how are we taking care of them? There's also, and I think we needed what we had in the millennials, because the millennials are a fragile group. This alpha generation, they're not as fragile. They're a little tougher. They're a little like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I don't want that. You know, or here's what I demand and need, and they got the language.
Yes,
you know, and it's real. I mean, it's funny. Sometimes the depth is not there. That's all right. They're working to understand it, but they know how to step up and defend themselves, which is powerful. My thought is helping them to defend themselves in the most productive and positive and good ways to get what they need. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Yeah, it's we got some beautiful work ahead of us. Some beautiful, beautiful work ahead of us, and it's very challenging. And I feel privileged and honored to be one of the people really pushing. And I'll even be immodest and say leading this fight.
Talk about it.
We got to turn this ship around and take it over and drive it ourselves and not be driven somewhere to another ship. We know about getting on these ships. That's not a good look for some of us.
Nah.
My melanin gifted brothers and sisters with this ship. You see that ship coming, don't get on it.
Ain't no cruise ship.
No.
No.
Gifts in the blankets. No, thank you.
Nope. No, thank you. I'm good. Right. I'm good. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely, man. And it's so I guess this is how I want to segue to us not only wrapping up in certain spaces, but also in the sense of you. And this is what I appreciate about you. When you lead things or when you facilitate conversations, one of the things that you also lead with is opportunities and space for folks to acknowledge the joy that they do have. Because because a lot of times it could be very consuming. It could be disheartening. It can be, just heavy, just really heavy. So, but I appreciate, what I've seen you facilitate and really talk about the fact of what gives you joy in your life, like what's happening right now. So is there a show, is there music, is there anything, brother, right now that's been giving you joy? And I use this as a segue because we have some questions that are crowdsourced. And I have our first ever barbershop live stream Sunday Funday toss up that brother Josh has sent me via text. So I want to ask you this, good brother, and see what your response is. But is there anything right now that brings you joy, that you're really enjoying, aside from baking delicious banana pudding?
That banana pudding. That was so fun to do. It was so beautiful, and that speaks to the joy. I was just writing a letter to someone of gratitude to my friend and his wife, and I was saying, when the fevers succeed, when the world is clear again, I love to have you come make a meal for you. I get so much joy cooking. My grandmother taught me to cook. My grandmother was like, I can't stand no man standing around waiting for a woman to cook for him. So get your butt in here, boy.
I hear that.
Cutting onions, couldn't reach the table, cutting onions. And so preparing food and sharing food, that's a joy for me. That's a real joy for me. And then, reading is just a sincere joy. And then, I can't lie. I mentioned the show already, but this show, Big Mouth.
Okay.
To see the transition, because it's just raw. It's not for the kids, not for the children. Don't watch it with the children. It ain't for the children. It's raw, it's funny, and to see spaces that I've known for a long time transition and include the Black story really well, it makes me so happy. It's not a matter of being a guest in somebody's space. Seeing folks go, I need to step aside and get out of the way and let these people lead. And I'm going to follow and trust what they say. So much of what's not included in our society, music, food, entertainment, films, even books, historically has been led by people who could not recognize a voice outside of their own. And decisions that were made were not connected to believing there was actually depth behind what someone brought to the table. I'm sure you can attest to it. I know I can attest to it, but not being in space to be like, well, is that idea a really good idea? You're like, yo, I know it's going to be a great idea. Well, is it? You sit here like, I know it's going to pop off. And to see people, and this is the younger generation, they go, oh, really? You saying no? Well, I'm going to go over here and build it. And when you come to join, there's going to be a velvet rope. And you had the chance to be inside that castle, but you chose not to be. So peace, you could buy a ticket and it's double price now.
Talk about it.
That's so beautiful. So my joy, I gave a long list there, but it is acknowledging the changes that I see and embracing the internal journey. Cooking, reading, talking to people, having conversations. Those all bring me good joy. And then I can't lie, the brown.
Hey.
How about you? What's your? Because I could go on for a while, but I'm gonna limit to those. What's your joy besides Amanda? I'm gonna take that from you.
Please, thank you,
Amanda, because Amanda brings me joy, and I just get to witness from a distance.
Thank you, brother. I was about to call a hotline if I speed dial in case I didn't say her name. No. So definitely, besides Amanda, for sure. I think great conversations with dope people such as yourself. And just having the type of people in my life that I can learn from, lean on, grow with. If I'm ever having a question about something, I can flesh it out with someone. I think those conversations that are life-giving as opposed to life-taking are important, because a lot of times, particularly in the spaces that we're in and the work that we do, it's life-giving in some spaces, but it's like, you a leech? Like if you don't, like, you know what I mean? Because somebody gonna need to give me money so I can put some blood back in my body, because you're done. So I think those situations, and then also, a good meal. Sometimes I'm like you. I don't like to cook for myself. The kid could cook. I could cook. I don't like to cook for myself.
I was going to take a pause there. I haven't witnessed that. I've seen you get good takeout.
Don't sleep on the order game, brother. Listen,
order game. Listen, I've witnessed it.
You got to diversify your food game. Sometimes you don't feel like cooking, but you have to make a good order. Listen, don't be that person who says, "Oh, y'all want to order food," and then you order some garbage takeout. Don't do that. Don't be that person. That's not me. So I can order. Listen, you know, brother, you've witnessed it. We go out to a restaurant pre-Rona. We go out to a restaurant, and it's like, I'm like doing a cultural audit on the menu.
It's a ceremony.
It's like I'm playing bingo, and then once I get them things, I know what I want. I want this, that, and the third. That's what I want, brother. Give me that. Give me that. So, you know, food, cooking for people, ordering me some good food, because then we have more time for conversations than brown juice. And honestly, sharing the brown. Like, you know, I went to YouTube University. I got my master's in brown juice, bourbon, whiskey. I think I've had it for about a couple of years now. I'm working on my honorary doctorate. You know, I don't know who's going to give it to me, but somebody, please. But you know, I've been doing my studying, I've been doing my research, and when I buy a bottle to curate my bar, or to stock it at least, I like to share it with folks. And I think what might be dope, brother, is if folks in the chat want to do this, let us know. We could do a bourbon tasting virtually. Ooh. We can all get the same stuff and like do notes and pare it down, blah, blah. And the other thing, brother, that we were talking about, because we social justice warriors over here, or at least we try to be, we aspire to be, we can have a brown juice pairing with a good book. So instead of, you know, people like, oh, we should pair it with cheese and almonds and walnuts and cherries, and what book you reading with it? Because if you got the 100 proof new riff, what book? Maybe Souls of Black Folk. You need that. You need something. So I think that would be dope too. But I think in these spaces, brother, having these conversations, building with people like you, building with the fam. Shout out to Dean, shout out to Ashley, shout out to Josh, Lisa, all y'all, Eve Rose, all y'all in the chat. Building and being a part of your village, that's important to me. So those are the things that bring me joy. And then sometimes just zoning out, watching some YouTube speeches, etc. But the reading piece is important too. Just trying to read as much as possible where I can. And really, you know, the thing that has taken away some of the joy is the fact that we're not able to really connect with students like we used to. And that's been somewhat of a downside, but thinking about how we can build and continue to do those conversations and talk to young folk and get their perspectives and ideas.
It's beautiful.
Yes,
that's beautiful. The wise mind, the wise young mind.
I appreciate that. You know, I'm growing every day. I'm taking my vitamin C, sometimes vitamin D. You know, I don't really drink milk anymore, but you know. So we'll see. But
vitamin D is something we melanin gifted people have to work hard at.
Yes. Especially, you know, brother. You know, I'm not pigment impaired in the slightest. But as you have eloquently pointed out before, I was like, brother, you remember, you know, sometimes you get a bruise and it's like, you know, it's a little blue, and you can put a penny. He's like, I'm like, no blue. I was like, you right. Check your privilege. Check your privilege, brother. Check your privilege. But so just thinking about that. There are plenty of times where I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. But there's one thing I wanted to ask you, brother, because this is the crowdsourced toss up.
Bring it.
All right. Courtesy of Josh. First of all, let's throw some love up here real quick before we get to, you know, you know how it is. Okay, yeah. You know, okay. All right. So
that's good. The passage.
Oh yes. Oh, I like that. All right. Snaps to Josh. Speaking of Josh, here you go. One gotta go, good brother.
Uh-oh.
We can end our time together on this because I know you're going. One gotta go. The Cosby Show, The Jeffersons, Good Times, Sanford and Son.
Thank you, Josh. One gotta go.
Cosby, Jeffersons, Good Times, Sanford and Son. Dun, 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 dun.
That song is Street Beater, written by Quincy Jones. You know that?
No, I did not. That's what I'm talking about.
Quincy Jones wrote that song. It's called Street Beater.
What?
Beautiful song. He wrote it for the show.
This is what I'm talking about.
Quincy Jones is mine. That man just did everything.
Mm.
So, and I still, you know who his daughter is, don't you? I still, Rashida. She was Italian for a while. That's another story.
Come on home.
Yeah. Come on, baby. We got you. No more pumpkin pie. Come on in. I was just talking about this with somebody yesterday. I once babysat for the Cosbys. Being here in Philadelphia, I was a little kid.
No. Time out. Run that back. You can't just be throwing stuff out there and just stop it.
It was once at their house. They live in Philadelphia, and they needed a babysitter, and I was of age.
Okay, proceed, sir.
But I'm going to drop the Cosby Show.
Hey,
because I can't get rid of Florence from the Jeffersons. I can't get rid of the Aunt Esther on Sanford's Son. I just can't get rid of Aunt Esther on Sanford's Son. And then Good Times, we can't get rid of Florida. Florida was the truth. You know, so, and not to say that Felicia Rashad wasn't, you see, I went, it was all women. I went there. Felicia Rashad was wonderful and great, but that's a foundation that we all stand on. So I'm going with the foundation. So if I have to, yeah, thanks, Lisa. I have to, Aunt Esther. Oh, Aunt Esther. Aunt Esther was my girl. She reminded me so much of my grandmother. It was crazy. Crazy how much she reminded my grandmother with that pocketbook and purse. So yeah, I have to let go of the Cosby Show.
Okay, I hear you. And you know, I will recuse myself from.
No, your private school word. You're recusing yourself.
That's a 50 cent word, brother. You know, it's not a dollar. I can't really get to the dollar words yet. It's a 50 cent word. It's a 50 cent word.
Who you?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Cosby Show. Good Time.
Oh, Cosby Show. Jefferson's Good Time. Sanford and Son.
George Jefferson was a mess. Mr. Bentley. Come on. Tom and what Homeboy's mother was on that show.
For me, Sanford and Son could go. So, not sorry.
Come on, man.
Woo, ouch. The chat has spoken.
Do you know? Here's another story. So Red Fox.
Stall for me, brother. Stall for me.
This is why San Francisco has to stay. Red Fox got the show. He pushed. He worked, and they met Wanda LePage, who played Aunt Esther, and the Hollywood studios said, "Oh no, no one looks like her on TV. The world would not be interested, and we're not casting her. Let's go." And they had some light skin. Other version was a little softer, And Red Fox was like, either she stays or y'all don't get the show. Boom. And look what happened. That's like stand up and don't back down. Push for what we need. Push for that change.
That's real. And I think I can't disrespect the brother Red Fox. Oh, yeah. He's on the cut T-shirt that I'll be rocking. Yeah. Red Fox is in the shop.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little bit of a mess, but yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I would have to probably go with the Jeffersons.
Oh, Wheezy? You can get rid of Wheezy? That's because you know what? That's because you from Harlem and you mad that they live up on the Upper East Side.
Listen, all right. Upper East Side don't want no smoke.
Tell me experience.
I mean, so because I think about it, Cosby Show, I can't take away the Cosby Show. Like that's the space where I was like growing up. That like out of all these shows, I don't want to date myself. But out of all these shows, that's probably the one I was like, really, really watching all the time, grew up with, etc. Good Times, I caught a lot of those reruns. Sanford and Son, same thing. The Jeffersons, I caught them reruns too, but I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this.
Just say it, son.
But George Jefferson, I mean, if we want, the light-skinned brother with the walk, I mean, it could be problematic, as can all the shows. And if you want to talk about every single last one of the characters, etc.,
all of them are problematic.
Here's the thing: it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
I'm just going with the Jeffersons because I think it'll be okay if I did. I think if I had to, if I can only have the other three to help give me a sense of who I am and the trials and tribulations of Black life, I'd probably go with those over the Jeffersons. Okay. Because I finally ain't get no piece of the pie. Shoot, I'm still trying to get an oven, brother.
Come on now, you got a little piece of the pie. Don't lie. Yeah, I've been to your house. You got a piece of the pie.
That's Walmart pie, brother.
Hey. Patty.
That's roll back prices pie, brother. I want someone to make the pie for me, and then I'll take it from them and say, "Look what I made." Yes. That's the type of pie I want, brother.
Yes, sir. I'm not mad at you. But I will say, here's one, another random fact because I got them. You probably know this. So the song for the Jeffersons, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the connection with the person singing that with one of the songs, one of the shows you mentioned? Clock is on. Tick.
This is what I learned. You told me that is, hold up now. That is,
come on,
a person from Sanford and Son who sings that. Good Times, my bad. Okay. Good Times, brother. I'm sorry. Good Times, brother. Who sings that? Yes.
And who is she on Good Times?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I turn to my thesaurus, my glossary, my cliff notes, I don't want to say nobody. Isn't it Florida?
Oh,
no,
man, go again.
Come on, brother. I didn't know I was going to get a pop quiz.
You need to come prepared.
You right about that, brother. You right about that. I apologize.
It's all good. I'm patient. Keep going. I want you do the work. Put in the work and find it out.
It's the mama.
It is not the mama. It's a mama, but it's Janet Jackson's mama.
Remind me of her name, brother.
Nope.
I'm not going to Google. I won't. That's beneath me.
Come on.
That's beneath me, brother.
Come on.
The chat don't want to help. Help me out, brother.
She died this year.
Why is her name escaped? We literally talked about this.
And it turns out her father was actually Dizzy Gillespie.
No.
Yes.
Okay, so stop it. Stop it.
When she died, her birth certificate, it said father Dizzy Gillespie. And nobody knew that.
No. Okay. You be making stuff up. You be making stuff up.
I'm not making that up. I'm not making it up. That's what they said when she died, that her father was Dizzy Gillespie. That's what they said. Come on, think about the entertainment and look at her. Thank you. People gave it to you. Jeanette, they got it right. Oh, Ashley, you got it sort of right. Lisa got it right. You got to get that accent in there. Jeanette.
See now you talk. Is it really Dizzy's daughter?
Dubois.
That's Dizzy's daughter.
That's what her birth certificate said.
Oh, come on now. Birth certificates can say anything these days.
Well, come on. We talking about our people. We talking about our people. So ain't no telling. What makes me think it's true is she never talked about it. She could have led with that. Hi, I'm Dizzy Gillespie's daughter.
That's true. That's true.
She did her thing. And she was Janet Jackson's mother after Penny. After that lady burnt her with the iron. Remember that scene?
Yes.
So I'm getting a Penny. And it was like to be continued. Oh, that was so upsetting. And then the one where she was walking in the elevator and going to back up. Janet Jackson went through on that show.
So let me drop some knowledge, brother, for you. I want to let you know let me let you in on something, because I remember you gave us a story about how one time you were at a party, and we're not going to name the name of the organization because we don't really care. But there's a group of people who dance around with big candy canes. They wear red and white, and they were at a party with these big candy canes, twirling them around and everything. It wasn't Christmas, but they was like candy canes just twirling around, whatever, dancing. And you was like, yo, I'm about to get in there, about to do that thing. Someone saved your life. All I'm saying is, right? So as a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, we just celebrated our Founders Day, 114 years.
Hold on. Wait, let me step in with this one.
Yes, sir, please.
As an outsider, it's always Founders Day. How many Founders Day are there?
Again, there's only one.
Okay. Finish your story.
So December 4th, 1906, right? So 114 years.
Beautiful.
So what I say to you, brother, we say what you just did to me in fraternity spaces is called, you put me in the cut, good brother. You put me in the cut, and you told me to run my information, and I wasn't prepared for the session that night. I wasn't prepared. So I thank you. I thank you.
That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here, my brother. That's why I'm here, so we can grow. Taking care of the babies.
Yes. Look at the honesty.
I know. That's beautiful, Lisa. Beautiful. I appreciate that. Jeanette Dubois. Her name is probably Erica.
Street name J Dub. I understand. It is what it is. It is what it is.
I ain't mad.
So anything in the comments, folks? Any final questions you got for us before we get off this thing, or if there's anything you want us to shout out for a toast, let us know. We need a toast. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I want to confront one question I see in the comment section.
Please.
Aunt Esther versus Florence.
Talk about it.
Who would win the comebacks? That's hard because they are very different souls, and I think Aunt Esther Roll. Oh well, no, LaWanda LePage. Oh, I'm mixing up my people. See that? Aunt Esther, come on, there's no competition. Ain't nobody coming for Aunt Esther. Let's just leave it at that, in my opinion. Florence is wonderful and great, but Aunt Esther would like dance circles around Florence and show up with her prayer band, and it'd be a wrap. What we need to. There are two dueling scenes we need for the Jeffersons and from Sanford and Son. There's a great scene where Aunt Esther she brings her choir to the house to pray for Fred, and they're singing going with their purses. And we have the same exact scene with Florence's prayer band coming from Mr. Jefferson. Like that was from what I just having grown up with all those ladies in church. I was like, I know every single moment of this. It's beautiful.
Yes. Okay.
So
okay, good brother.
So
are you saying she's the Zora Neale Hurston of comebacks? She got that language. She not playing no games.
No.
The one who coined the N-word, Adi. That's my joint right there. I don't want to listen. She wasn't playing no games. She'd be on that Brown. I know she'd be in the Brown.
She wasn't
playing no games.
My best song, sweet potato pies. I'm working on my sweet potato pie game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not ready for sale. My Nana pudding is ready for sale, but sweet potato pie, I'm still. So,
maybe this is just a technicality, brother. When you say you're working on that, like, do you need taste testers? Like, you need someone to call it quality assurance. Every organization kind of has it, quality assurance. If you need it, I got it.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll put you on the list. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing.
Just blasphemy. Whose man's is this?
Is it possible to block?
I don't know who this is. Do not be fooled by the initials. I think that person's just saying, hey. Or something like, hey, I have a question. I don't know about that.
No. Is that your roommate?
I don't know who that is. Allegedly. I don't want the hotline. I don't know. Oh, hey now. Listen, maybe we did. what we need to do, like we were talking about, tasting notes for the culture. Instead of doing the pairing of cheese, etc. Like this brown juice will pair well with some nana pudding. This brown juice will pair well with some sweet potato pie, and all that other stuff. We need to do that. Go ahead, good brother.
I'm thinking, so with all this live situation, and this is the first time I'm hearing about you talking about your cooking skills. I'm thinking we need to do a live pairing taste testing. You bring me a dish, I bring you a dish. We go to our corners, open up a bottle, and eat right on the and just eat as experience them. I see what this is about.
Okay, all right. So we need, because I don't see, I don't know. We need to set these rules here. While I have witnesses that we set the rules. So because
what rules you need?
If you want to have a bake off, I'm not your guy. It's not happening. Brother, it's not beneath me. It is not beneath me to get an Edmonds cake and put it in a dish.
We got no bake offs. Then I realize that's not your territory.
It's not my bag, bro.
We can bring it.
Google and YouTube saved my life.
Because I'm thinking I need to hit you with my ribs recipe.
Oh, okay.
I think my ribs and your 1492 will get along real good. Real good.
See, okay, let's take it up a notch, brother. We have to do a dish that incorporates the brown.
All right, you getting a little bit of raisins and the potato salad.
Oh, no. Come on, brother. Don't play me like that. Come on, brother. Hear me out. Think about those ribs and what a little bit of whiskey might do to it.
Okay. I'm not mad.
Think about that, brother.
I'm not mad. I respect that.
If you're thinking about chicken and waffles, brother, think about what a bourbon waffle might be.
I'm here to learn and grow. Learn and grow. Learn and grow. That's what it's about. To learn and grow.
Listen, I'm not trying to gentrify the culture. I'm not. All I'm saying is, you don't seem convinced.
I'm listening.
All I'm saying is,
my grits.
We can pair it with the brown, or we can incorporate the brown. I'm fine either way, brother. I just wanted to make sure that people understand that there's no cheating involved. That's all.
No cheating.
Okay.
My man. To a beautiful accomplishment. We've been at this for months, and we didn't do it for anything more than we needed to do it. That's why we did it. And here we are in this first live section on the way to grander, more beautiful, more intense, incredible experiences. And to all the people that checked in tonight, good to see y'all. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And a big toast to you, my brother, as you go forward.
Toast to you too, brother. Appreciate sharing the space with you. It's the Brown Juice Barbershop. Stay sharp, drink neat.
Hey. All right, basil. So good. Well, I think we did it again.
Yes, we did.
These commentators, though, they got jokes. They're good.
Right. I heard you were sending stuff to people in the streets. That's what I heard. That's true. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Everybody don't get it for free.
I had heard.
It comes with a receipt.
Yes, sir. Well, to all the folks in the chat, all the folks tuning in, and the folks who will watch this later, we appreciate y'all. We hope that you stay safe, stay healthy. Know that you're loved. It's the Brown Juice Barbershop. Peace.
Yes, a live version will come again someday soon. Brown Juice Barbershop. Peace.
We out.
Bye.